Good morning, everyone, and I'd like to remind everyone to please make sure that our cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position, and also please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T UVerse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alvin Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and the meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Cannon to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today, Lord, thank you for everything that you do for us and you're going to do for us. God, we ask, Lord, to be with our city, Lord, and especially our leaders, Lord. Just take care of them, God. Let them make the right decision for this city, God. Please, God, we know you're taking care of our city, God, and you're going to take care of us. Be with everybody, Lord, that don't agree with stuff we do, God, and be with the people that agree with what we do, God. We ask, Lord, that you'll just be with us and take care of us and watch over us this upcoming week. We just love you and we praise your name for everything. Be with this meeting today, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They done gave you on the ground.
Can't make them. At this time, I'm going to call on the EMA Director, Ms. Deborah Gaither, to provide an update for COVID-19.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear that? Okay. In relation to COVID, we're currently at over 2,600 in Etowah County positive, with 354 of those new cases in the last 14 days, and that brings us to 8.9% positive rate. So that's still lower than we were running 6 to 8 weeks ago, so we're really glad about those numbers. Everybody asks what the recovered rate is, and that's hard to figure just for Etowah County based on the way they give us the demographics and the data, but presumed statewide recovered right now is over 48,000, so that's really good. We have moved up in deaths yet again. We are at 40 who have deceased by means of COVID. The numbers seem to be good, so we don't want to get a false sense of security, though. We want people to keep persevering, stay the course. Let's wash our hands, don't touch our face. It's hard to do. I'm the world's worst. Social distance, wear a face covering, keep doing that. Today is the beginning of National Preparedness Month, and we've all learned how to be educated on COVID and pandemic preparedness, but just want to remind everybody of a few things. National Preparedness Month also brings on a more active severe weather time in our state. So in doing that, we think about our shelters, those that are FEMA approved, city approved, whatever they may be. And in doing that, we want to remind everybody that based on the numbers that we had today, you do have a more likely percentage of being affected by severe weather, whether it be damage to your home, property, or self, than you do from contracting COVID. So in going to your shelters, we want to remind everyone, still take your precautions, but don't not go because of COVID. We want to make sure that we're safe across the board, and to do that, you have to make some decisions on your own. It's your personal responsibility. It's your choice whether or not to be safe. There are ways out there to do it, and we prefer that you do it at home. Find a way to shelter at home in a location that is lowest in your home, that is centrally located, and try to shelter that way from severe weather. If that is not at all possible, or the structure of your dwelling is not up to par and you are afraid to stay there, then do find a shelter. You can go to shelterottawa.com and look at all the shelters. There are directions to each shelter. It tells you whether or not they take pets, whether or not it's handicap accessible. So that's a real good website if you will go to that website and utilize it. I'm also going to leave with our Alert Ottawa flyer. And those are is how you can register online to receive alerts from your Gadsden Ottawa County EMA. And we share alerts from fire, law enforcement, National Weather Service. At times when it might be a hazardous incident, we'll share road closures, those types of things. So we wanted to make sure we get that information out again. But you can go to our website and click on Alert Ottawa, and then you can register. And in giving those out, maybe you can share those on your social media pages for us and help get the word out on that. Any questions? If not, that's all I have for today.
I have one. You know, we talk about the COVID. Do we have to, the percentage has to go down 14 straight days? What is the percentage that we have, that we can be, say, not in the clear,
Right.
but out of the high risk? And I know you talk about 14, is it 14 straight days that
It is.
that
It's
the
4
numbers have to go down? Or
14 straight days average across the board. And we've not been there quite yet, almost. We did the 3 days, we did the 5 day, but we've not gotten to the 14 yet.
so it has to be 14 days. Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, what would you say to people that still do not believe that this COVID-19 is real? What, is it anything that you could say to them?
I really don't think there's anything that I can say. People make up their minds for what they would like to think and to better support their own beliefs. I will say that I've had a family member, my aunt, who passed away from COVID. So it's pretty real to us and my family. I think until it affects your home, your life, you don't see it as much. So, you know, I just encourage people, find someone that's experienced it or someone that's lost a family member and talk to them. You know, yeah, we don't want anyone to get it. And I hope, you know, that we're still on a downward trend. But yeah, it's pretty real to those of us that have lost family members.
Yeah, Deborah, I'll support you in that I watched personally an individual who was spewing the hoax and anti-pandemic language early on. That individual got symptomatic and all of a sudden got religion. So generally when it hits them at home, to your point, that's when they start to understand.
Right.
So one thing that I'll throw out there, and I'm really looking for some guidance on this. I've seen here over the last couple of weeks a number of people who, when told and instructed to quarantine by their doctors, have somewhat of a different view of what quarantine is. They go home, generally speaking. They may be sleep in different rooms, but they're still using common eating quarters, common restrooms. So how do we get the message out to those folks? And some of it is just a pure reality that some people only have one restroom in their house.
Right.
And we talked about this early on, but I think more along the lines of where can people go to quarantine. But are there any messages we can deliver or any guidance we can offer people who are trying to be diligent about quarantining in their homes?
Right, and we have spoken to several people that is their situation. They only have one restroom. And the best guidance, I think, came from one of our public health workers. She told them, said, each time you go to the restroom, you clean, you disinfect before you leave, and then go back to the room in which you're quarantining in. And if each one of them do that, that's of a help if they don't have the option of having more than one restroom. So, we would like to remind everybody of that. Then also, if you can get your meals brought in to you, it's so much easier. You don't utilize your kitchen as much. You're not in the same common space together. And if you need assistance with that, dial 211 and ask them what are the groups and facilities throughout Etowah County that provide meals. And if they don't find one for you, they'll normally give you the local church group. And we've got several church groups that are working to provide meals to those that are quarantined.
Okay. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Public Work Committee, Public Safety Committee work session and the council meeting that was held August the 25th.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of accounts for the week of August 21st through the 27th.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamation. Unfinished business, we have none. This is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution approving issuance of an alcoholic beverage license. Jordan Service LLC, doing business as Jordan Minute Mart, located at 1000 Tuscaloosa Avenue in District 3, has applied for a retail beer and table wine license off premises only. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone to speak in favor? What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt.
Okay.
Are there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, I see 2 noes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution authorizing a change order number 3 for bid number 3380 for Community Center Renovation Project, Phase 2, located at 2000 West Michigan Boulevard. This is the HVAC system modifications and to account for material increase to install a parking lot canopy. The amount is $44,239.95. Increase in the contract with Hudak Construction Company to $1,191,880.11. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next resolution is authorizing agreement with Hobby Cat Company. This is for the city to sponsor the Hobby Bass Open Series Fishing Tournament to be held October the 2nd through the 4th, 2020, and the amount is $5,000. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any new business? We have a couple of department reports. Jen Wethington, and Park and Recreation Director, and Hugh Stump, Director of the Greater Etowah Tourism. They're going to talk about fly fishing.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So We had, the first year we've had Black Creek fly fishing up at Black Creek at Knoxville Falls Park. Hugh and I, or Greater Gadsden and Parks and Recreation teamed together and contracted out to do an economic impact study on this to see if this program, how it did. And y'all have, I believe y'all have the results in your packet. Just to go over an overview of it, we did stock the trout at Black Creek twice this year. It was in November and then again February. I knew it was the first of the year. So we contracted that out. They stocked up to $10,000 worth of trout. I'm not sure how many pounds that equaled out to. And then we sold permits for fishing in this area. One day permit was $9, at 3 day was $11, and then there was an annual pass for $30. In this, we found about what people spent and how long they stayed with us and how many people were from in town or out of town. Trout fishing did attract visitors to the falls. 93% of the respondents came to Gadsden just to fish. On average, anglers fish Black Creek 4.92 times, so almost 5 times on average of each permit we sold or for somebody to come fishing. The permit process was highly rated, citing friendliness of staff, cost and location, and overall experience. Anglers were very satisfied with the fishing experience. I mean, we have a beautiful creek located in a beautiful park. So 87% were somewhat or extremely satisfied, and 14% were neutral or dissatisfied. The quality of trout and our scenery was the high drivers of them being satisfied. Biggest improvements was the better ease of access of trails to the actual creek. We are always continuing improving these trails up at Knoxville Falls on the Black Creek trails and signage. Signage is also something that we place up, and daily it is taken down by somebody else not on staff. So we are always trying to improve and better those access points and signage to get there. 33% of the people that were coming to trout fish did stay overnight. 42% stayed 2 nights. And 25% stayed 3 or more. 66% of these people stayed at a hotel or in our campgrounds in our areas. The other people stayed with families and friends when they come in to visit. After they went for fishing, the biggest things were they came and ate downtown, they shopped, they camped, they hiked or biked, and did other activities like that in our area. So if they came to fish, they did more than fish here in Gadsden. They said that they would return at an 87% likelihood. So if we have this again, 87% said that they would come. We had a total permit or direct revenue for this of selling permits was over $4,000, and the economic impact was at $18,000. So with that, we do count this as a positive return with both factors factored in and what we spent on this. The biggest positive statements from the anglers were the beauty, the quality of fish, and the ease of permitting, of getting their permits. Now, in this, I do want to note, in March 17th, we shut down all Parks and Recreation facilities and locations. This stopped the ability to sell permits at this point in time because they were sold out of the campground office only at this point in time. So we did see a drastic reduction at that point of selling permits. We did have people that bought annuals that kept on coming. We know we had some people that tried to buy some and were unable to. So we do expect that revenue of them buying permits to increase next year with hopefully no shutdowns. And so that on that, we're also, did ask, was there a way to purchase permits online? And we do have that capability. We're working on that on our online registration to add permits just for trout fishing so that they can print something off to be identified. Each fisher, to be legal, had to have a PIN permit on their outside so that if somebody was checking permits, they could come and look and see that visibly without having them to pull out something from their wallet and show us. So we were working on that to help that ease and that we wouldn't have a hiccup on selling these permits. Also, we did have a lot of people that come in. They come in at daylight to go fishing, and our office is not open until either 8 or 10 a.m. in the morning. So they would come back in the afternoon and purchase those. So the online registration would help tremendously. Do y'all have any questions? Do you have any additions to you?
Yeah, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the tourism aspect of this. There's only one other place to fly fish for trout in Alabama, and that's Sipsey Fork. So having trout at Black Creek gives us a definite advantage for people wanting to visit. Fly fishermen, by and large, are wealthy individuals that are taking trips. Of course, they're going to long distances. They're going to Alaska. They're going to Colorado, that type of thing. So having fly fishing in the South here easily for people to get to is a big bonus for us. Also, it's a great amenity for residents of Gadsden, Etowah County. They can fly fish right here in their own backyard. We sold 277 permits, and we can extrapolate that probably 2 or 3 times that number of people probably fished and didn't get a permit. We saw lots of people fishing without permits tags on. It's, enforcement is not something we really want to do. Like, hey, you got, quit fishing. You don't have a permit. Park staff can't really do that. The creek is a large creek, lots of area for people to fish. So we're trying to fine tune some of the parameters of how they get their permits and how we track them. And we think we did a pretty good job with this first year. And I hope that we can continue this going forward. It's a big boom for Etowah County. Any questions?
Any questions from the council?
I've just got one, Jen. Does the $9 permit include the state licensing fee?
No, sir. They would have to purchase that separately.
That's fine, big and clear.
Yes, sir. That's just to fish for trout at Black Creek
Right.
and not Blue Falls Park.
I was curious, in the handout, in the appendix, there are, I guess, 2 comments that you provided. Did y'all reach out to those individuals and discuss their issues?
We did. We actually had some meetings with some of the people that responded to this, and we talked about their issues and what they thought about. It was funny, if you read the negative comments, it's about people who said they couldn't catch any fish. But if you read the positive comments, just about every comment was, I caught a ton of fish. So it's like, you just can't fish.
Yeah. Maybe we could hold fishing classes maybe for those.
Yeah, that's an actual.
Well, one had mentioned like an annual pass and signage about an annual pass and maybe a way to obtain licenses online. Is that possible to do that?
Yes.
So have we done that yet, or is that just in the process?
We have not, because right now it's not in season, so we'll get that ramped up. So
Sure.
by November, it's doable. Also, we do have plans on, at some point in time in the next year or 2, if we continue this, Frank Roden wants to put on some clinics and some tournaments, bring people to fish.
Yeah.
And actually we'll do sort of thing where they can fish different species. So they can fish on Neely Henry for bass or crappie, as well as fish the Black Creek for the trout. So we got a lot of good opportunities coming forward.
I have some friends that utilize this probably daily when it's in season. I mean, they love it. So, I mean, it's all I hear is positive, good comments. So thank y'all.
Are we? Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, do you have an idea of the total cost of this last year? What it cost to actually do this top to bottom? I know you said about $10,000 spent on the fish.
Yeah, that's what we spent on the fish, and then we on direct advertising we spent $2,750 direct just on Black Creek fly fishing. But we did that and also had lots of other advertising that was part of other advertising that I couldn't pin it down and say just Black Creek, but just on Black Creek fly fishing we spent $2,750 plus the $10,000.
So my point is, it was a net positive for the city
Yes.
at the end of the day, with an economic impact of 17.9 estimated.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you expect that to grow this year? You think those permit numbers will go up?
I believe with more advertising, and your best advertisement after people find out is by word of mouth. And with the great experiences that are being shared about coming here, it's going to make it easier on us. But then plus having that online registration or online permitting for them to purchase that and not having our areas closed down.
Sure.
We've teamed since the beginning with the Rainbow Fly Fishing Club, and they did buy some trout feeders on their own to add to this.
Frank and those guys are awesome.
Right, and they are helping us with the not enforcement, but visual on the trail and ensuring that the fishermen are doing what we request on rules and permitting.
All right, my last question. No one has ever presented an economic impact study to me as a member of this city council where they didn't follow it up with a request for money. So when is that coming?
That is in our budget, sir.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
We do follow the state guidelines about 65 years and up, about people 65 doesn't have to have Alabama fishing license.
We sell the fishing license. I don't know, honestly, I have a lifetime fishing license, so I don't have to worry
If you're
about that. but I
65, if you're 65, the state of Alabama says all you have to do is show your driver's license.
Then we do ask people above 65 to purchase the permitting for the trout, because that is an extra fee for us, and we're just trying to cover
But they
costs.
don't, 65 and over don't have to have
That is
license.
the rules for the state permit, or
That's a state,
state
yeah,
fishing
that's a
license, that is
state.
the rules for this, yes, sir.
I was just gonna make sure so everybody would know.
I know Councilman Worthy's had his.
Well, I think it was answered in the talk that you all were doing. Because I see the economic impact statement here that the impact was right at $18,000, and I think we spent 10 on this particular tournament.
And
So it almost doubled, so that's good.
And then we took in a direct revenue of over $4,000 just from the permit.
So yeah, so that's
that on
overdone.
that,
So that's great, that's great.
Ms. Ruth,
So, awesome job. Definitely appreciate the analysis. I mean, this is the kind of facts and data that we need to see as it relates to this type of investment. So, to Jason's point, I wish we could see more of it, to be quite honest.
we do too. It depends on our budgets.
Yeah, and I know. I mean, these documents are not cheap to pull together and not easy to pull together. The question I have, though, is that at our golf course, there were some deliberate efforts maybe a year or two ago to appeal to young people and to underserved parts of the community, to expose them to golf and things of that nature through the PGA and some other national groups. So with that in mind, are there any plans or is that something we could pursue in terms of getting fly fishing education into the school system? And again, I know COVID creates a whole different set of issues to manage, but just exposing this experience to other parts of the community that might not otherwise get that exposure. Are there any plans to include that in the rollout?
We usually have 5 summer camps with it for Parks and Recreation, and the years I've been here, we have started expanding that and partnering with. One was going to be with the Boys and Girls Club and the tennis program, helping expose those kids, and then also our kids that are pertaining into our summer camp. We took our summer camps like to the Night Blue Experience, and these programs like this is something where the ones that we run, the camps that we run in our community centers during our summer is where we're targeting the kids to expose them to many different aspects of life that they may not be able to experience just from their household. I always think and believe that, the most that a child can experience, then they can narrow it down as they get to adult what they love. But let's expose it to them all, and then they can choose from that. And this is something that we would love to be partnering with the Rainbow Fly Fishing Club to expose that. I mean, it just helps grow another sport and activity and love and passion.
Well, and I know that the mountain bike and cycling community did a lot at
That's
the
the thing,
falls
yes.
with that,
Yes.
specifically on that youth education and introducing people to the
So
sport.
we are expanding that, hopefully in our own community. We have had a hiccup, but we are trying to expand that to all, no matter what income a child is coming from, that they can be exposed to all kinds of aspects of lives and hobbies and loves.
Well, and just please understand, the perspective that I'm coming from is that if you're not deliberate about that kind of thing, then it's not going to happen naturally, because there's just certain things that particular part of the community doesn't think about or doesn't get exposed to. So thank you guys for putting that on the radar.
I agree. I think that's why our camps are so, because it makes them, you're doing this activity today.
Yeah.
So then you can go have fun and play in the field.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You want to talk about Wheels on the Hills yesterday?
Yes, sir. We definitely can go over that also. We did host Wheels on the Hill this weekend up at Buffalo Falls Park and Campground. We did have a pretty full house. We didn't have as many spaces available for our vendors because of social distancing and ensuring people were able to spread out and to do, to not be crowded in. We did have high crowds on Saturday. A lot of people came and visited. Friday was not as heavy and Sunday was not as heavy. Just I believe people were busy and they're filling out the process of coming back out. But it was a great event. People were excited to be out and about and doing something in this time and age and enjoying each other's company. It did change. We usually do this in June. So, trying to re-advertise that, make sure that the community knew fully about it. It is difficult with the rescheduling of all these events. You and the mayor and Parks and Recreation, you got to pick out our cars of choice in the car show on that Sunday, and there were some beautiful cars up there that people got to showcase.
Sure was.
So just an update, we will be having some events in September. The one off the top of my head is September 19th, which will be Art on the Rocks at Buffalo Falls Park. And then we'll be having Smoke on the Falls over at the campground on the same day. Art on the Rocks will be the 19th and 20th. That'll be Saturday and Sunday. We do partner with Greater Gadsden to bring that event, and he does great on helping us with our vendors and lining all that up and doing some welcoming to them. And then our you also partners with us on Smoke on the Falls. Also, Smoke on the Falls is changing tremendously this year. We are gearing just towards our competitors. We are not having the bands. We are not having the kids zone. We are not having the extra activities. No sampling of barbecue will be happening. There's a lot of guidelines and changes on that this year. So we're not going to have a gate for people, the general public. I mean, we know they'd love to come and support our competitors, but this year we're aiming just for the competitors so that they can just turn in. And we have a lot of guidelines by the KCBS Association for our judging and how to spread our judges out and what can be done with the food during turn-in. But we are able to follow all their guidelines and more on that, and we still will be having the professional competition. We have the backyard competitors. We have the cheeseburger in paradise competition on that. So that will be it. Like I said, we're not inviting the mass crowds to come out and taste the barbecue this year, just because sampling, we did not feel safe on doing that for the general public. But we are excited to have these two events and starting to gear up just little by little on our special events. You know, Halloween is around the corner and Christmas is here, because we are putting up Christmas lights already with the limited amount of staff that we have. We knew that we had to get a huge start on it. So anytime that they have a pause, they are putting up Christmas lights already. So we will be adapting these programs, and we'll be coming up with some guidelines, and we'll be making sure that we have EMA and our chief and everybody on the same board. So with these adaptations, that we're doing the best we can. Christmas at the Falls is a heavy event, and you know, if social guidelines are right now in place, then it's going to be an interesting season. But as we say, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Jen, we can talk about this offline, but I'd like a similar event to Wheels on the Hill. I had an event this weekend in my driveway called Wheels on Blocks. And if any of y'all would like to come by and judge those vehicles and help out, you're more than welcome to. I think it could grow to be big.
I think so. Our grow grass around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would like to take a moment to point out that this week, starting tomorrow, FLW, Fishing League Worldwide, will be in Gadsden fishing. This tournament was scheduled for May. They postponed it till now. We had 250 boats in the original field, probably going to be down around 80 to 90 due to COVID issues. But this is a top national level tour. It's here in Gadsden this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're not inviting people out to the weigh-ins, of course, because of social distancing and the issues with that. But, just know they're here. This is a tournament that's never been held in Gadsden before. This is a national level tournament. We're very excited to be able to bring that organization to town.
Yeah, they're already preparing. I've seen things.
I've seen the boats out there. The Coosa
Yeah.
Landing's already set up with the trailers and such. And if you see the hotels tonight, you'll see lots of boats
Yeah.
in the parking lots.
I know you weren't planning on being up there that long, Jen, but talk about the football, the prices on the Weeks Field.
Yes, sir. I know we spoke about this a little bit in pre-council last week. Weeksfield is a rentable location. It is rented for a full-day rental fee of $350, which includes field setup. In years past, we were able to waive that fee for our local youth football and soccer associations for game day usage, but this year with our revenue cuts and limited staffing, we are having to charge that fee. We reached out to every contact that we had in the past, and if we heard of anybody else, we tried to contact them also to let them know the changes pre-season. We started contacting people in June to let them know when we were starting to reopen our athletics facilities.
And also the concession stand. Y'all will be running the
Yes,
concession
sir.
stand.
When we are running any event at Parks and Recreation's location, and there's going to be concessions, especially in our athletics, we will be the ones that will be running those. We've had some large damaged areas in our concession stands after people have used them, outside groups have used them. They were not cleaned up properly and are having the proper safety measures to serve out food. With the condition that we're in with COVID-19, we've got to ensure safety, and our staff, we have serve safe personnel that overlook all that and ensure that our food is being served correctly and at the correct temps.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Moore?
They don't like that they come see the mayor. Good evening.
There you go.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam President, council members. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been here, and it has been. The last time I was here, I was giving you an update on our merchants and how the COVID had affected them, and I'm proud to say that our downtown merchants are still doing well. The restaurants are doing well. They are all following all the state and CDC guidelines. Is it tough? Absolutely. But I think that we'll come through it. And one thing we've learned, it's a lot easier for a smaller retail or restaurant to do the things they need to do rather than be a big box store in today's world. So we're proud to say downtown Gadsden is still doing well, and we appreciate all the support of the people. As part of that, even when COVID was over, we talked a lot. Our merchants, we have meetings, so we talked a lot about the fact that we did not feel comfortable having First Friday. And we watched the numbers, and we kind of talked, and we know that summertime is a very, very big time. We could have 10, 12, 15,000 people in a 6-block area, and we knew that was not going to work. But as we watch the numbers, and I know they've come down some. I listened to Deborah Gaither. I know it's still not perfect, but we felt like September would be the time, if we were going to try to do First Friday, that September would be a good month based on what we had seen. And so we've continued to watch, and I've talked with Deborah, I've talked with Mary Gamillion, the State Department of Public Health. I've laid out the plans to them, and they said, well, it's a workable plan. So what we're doing, First Friday, this Friday, September 4th, from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we will have masks. The city has masks, but I also have a friend who has a business, and he's donated 1,100 disposable masks to me. Now, I don't think we'll need anywhere near that many, but if we have people that show up without masks, we've got a team that's going to offer them a mask and say, it's not a threat, but this is it. I mean, if you don't wear your mask and something happens, then we won't be able to do this again until 2021, until all this straightens out. So, again, it's not a threat, but we will have plenty of masks for people who do come. We'll have signs, thanks to the city's sign department, in the corners that remind people to mask up, wash your hands, keep a social distance. If you're not family member, stay at least 6 feet away. So that's the plan to see if this is going to work, and we hope it does. I know we're all concerned, but people are just wanting to get out. Yeah, I went to Wheels on the Hill just to see how it worked there. People were being socially distant. They were most of them were wearing masks. I can't talk today, but we're going to see what happens, and I think it'll work. So we're planning to have it's kind of a modified version, I guess, but we will have Broad Street closed from 1st to 7th. We'll have bands on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Streets. We have a limited number of food vendors that are coming, and they're all bringing tape to tape off 6 feet. Stand 6 feet apart as you're standing in line for food. Our restaurants will be open. Our stores will be open. They are all ready to monitor the number of people that are there. Especially the retail, they've not really had to do this. The restaurants fight with this every weekend, I know, because you can go to a restaurant, it's an hour and a half wait. But our retail merchants are going to have someone to do counts. They know how many people should be in their stores, so they're going to do that count. I put all this information on email. We did an email blast on yesterday. I've done what I call a PSA and put it on the Downtown Gadsden First Friday page on Saturday, talking about the fact how important it is to wear a mask, to social distance, to wash your hands. So I think that hopefully people will listen. We are not, you hear what's going on at the college campuses. That's not our crowd. Our crowd is an older group that I hope will be cognizant of the importance of doing that. As Councilman Worthy said, some people are going to be whatever, it's just because it's against their rights. But hopefully those people won't come. And I've asked them in my social distance, if you can't wear a mask, or if you don't want to wear a mask, then just stay at home, please. I mean, we're not forcing you to come out. So I hope that we don't have that issue happen. I'm sure that it could. I'm working with a local car club to also push that information out across the state of Alabama and into Georgia. We don't know how many we'll have. I think we'll have a good crowd. But again, September tends to drop off a little bit, and that's why we wanted to wait until now. So we'll see what happens. And we want to be safe. We want everybody to have a good time because people have missed coming downtown. We had our little abbreviated version in March, which we called Downtown Gadsden Gives Back, and that's where we focused on the nonprofit organizations. We've not had it since then. So people want to come downtown. I hope they understand the importance. I believe the ones I've talked to specifically understand the importance of being safe. And so that's what we're going to do. Mask, wash your hands, social distance. Mask, wash your hands, social distance, over and over and over. And that's the message we're trying to get out, just like everything else. Any questions?
Can I say? Mm-hmm. I just want to commend Kay on, we've been going back and forth on this for about 3 weeks. We really want to try to do it. I think in Tuscaloosa, of course, like you say, that's a different group of people. The mayor closed all the bars, which I thought was, I know the guy's pretty unique. But we want it to be fun for everybody. We want the merchants to have a chance to get some sales, people that get out and eat and have a little fun. So as they used to say in the Army, be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, doing what you're supposed to be doing. So we hope that everybody comes and has a good time.
And is safe and keeps other people safe.
Yes.
Anything else? Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, we have one citizen request. Larry Avery, talk about events on September the 5th and in October.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I'll just direct everyone to ccrcgadsden.org. This is what our website looks like. As you see moving on our website, it's going to be focused on Alabama 2020 census. And it gives a short video just giving some ideas of the 2026's, the effects of it, and how important it is for our community. So I would direct everyone there to ccrcgadsden.org to check that out. Also, while I'm on it real quickly, I just want to give just this brief about CCRC. Carver Community Revitalization Committee serves families by responding to community aspirations with an expanded array of products, services, and partnerships with the mission of empowering residents to revive their neighborhood and enhance the quality of life. Okay. September, before that, Carver Community Revitalization also heads a couple of annual events. One is First Saturday, a little different from First Friday, more focused on community, bringing that neighborhood together in a positive event to gather them all together to show that we can connect. Also within that event, we have vendors out and different things that go on to help people with small businesses as well as those that are in need of those products and array of resources that I mentioned earlier. To say that we have postponed our First Saturday and still postponing our First Saturday events, however, to do what we call mission initiative days. And those days are when we go out and we volunteer our time, which has been quite some time, where we are signing up people with voter registration as well as census. This is about our 5th event that we have done, and we are looking to do others continue until the deadlines of census and voter registration. September the 5th, with the help of a big reward goes out to Craig Scott and Public Works Department for giving us the permission to go to Carver Village, Northside Homes, and one was not necessarily needed, was Johnson Apartments. And we will, September the 5th, go door to door, knocking on each resident's home door to ask the question, have you completed your census? Are you registered to vote? Is your voter registration up to date? Okay, and we will have the access and the resources there on hand to be able to complete it. No resident is asked to touch the products. We wouldn't need anything, any transition or transaction to happen other than verbal communication. And so we would like to thank Emma Clapp from Family Success Center of Etowah County for their help. We want to thank the Legacy Club, who will be a big volunteer of Gadsden, who will be one of the big volunteer groups, a group of young people in Gadsden that do great things. And so they will be operating our iPads, and they will be conducting this, giving them an advantage. So when they get our age, they'll know what census is, the use of it, voter registration, how important it is, and to vote. We want to thank Etowah Chambers of Commerce and their staff, who has been tremendous. The Lifestyle Blood Bus will also be present. We want to also thank Parks and Recreation, who will also have the Carver facilities open for the use of restroom, and many others as well that will come out and help. But these in particular, because again, this is an event that we have been planning for quite some time, along with the event that will come visit to you about in October. September the 5th, we'll meet at the grounds of Carver Square at 10 a.m. No earlier than 10 a.m., and we will dispatch within the community at 11 a.m. We're asking everyone to wear masks. If you do not have a mask, we will provide masks for you. We're asking you to dress cool, not knowing what the weather would be like, but we know it will be pretty hot regardless. So we ask that you dress cool. We will have cooling stations. We will have Chamber of Commerce will be Etowah Chambers will bring out their van, and that will be a cooling station, a mobile cooling station that will transport them from wherever they are in the community to the Carver Square, so they can sit and be cool, and so we won't have any incidents and accidents consist of heat exhaustion or anything of that nature. Again, with the registrations that will be going on concerning how we would do it, those that register for this event on September the 5th, we will then come back to you for an event that we would do in October, and that will be an event that we're working hand in hand with the Secretary of State office, and that particular event will be very special concerning what we're doing with this September 5th event with voter registration. We are looking for volunteers. We have about 57 now and probably more, but we're asking you to go to the website. On the website also, you can see the event, and on the website with that event, you can sign up as a volunteer. And I think in that tab, it also have the different volunteer areas that you can also volunteer for. So we thank you for we thank those that are coming for their participation in advance, and we thank those that have contributed to the cause. We thank you for your contributions, and we are again seeking any volunteers, more volunteers that have not signed up. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll have comments. Councilman Reed, would you like to start?
Yes, ma'am. This morning, I would like to remember a very special lady, Kay Entrican. She passed away August 28th. She's the wife of Constable Jerry Entrican. I think we all know. She really was a special lady. Kay worked for American National Bank for 20 years and also a regional hospital, Gadsden Regional, for 20 years. And there she was known as the Avon Lady. She's a very loving wife, mother, and grandmother. And I just feel like we should say this morning, remembrance of her to her family. Donation wish. And another reason I was bringing this out was her wish was the pet rescue. So that's always on our mind. Very shortly to Rose Hahn. We feel real bad about Terry. I haven't seen her a bit yet. I don't think the funeral's going to be in time soon. Yeah. But I want Rose to know that we are thinking about her. That's all I have.
Councilman Wilson?
I don't have anything, ma'am.
Councilman Cannon?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to echo what Ben said about Kay Entrican. She was a neighbor of mine and a good friend. I've probably known her 50 years or longer, the family. She would be greatly missed. She was a nice lady. And also to Rose Hans, back when Terry first started to work for the city many years ago, I actually hired Mr. Hans. He was a good worker. He was a good man. He was a good resident of District 6. He was liked by everyone. I'm going to turn the thoughts now to another lady that her name's Gina Flemings Morris. She's on Facebook every day. I'm going to give you a little bio of her. She's a runner. She's a cook. She has big ferns in her yard. She's a wife. She used to print T-shirts. She's a comedian. She has a dog. She drives a sports car, and she hates squirrels. Especially the squirrels right in front of Councilman Wilson's house. They chase her all the time. She doesn't like Councilman Wilson's hat. She loves Little Debbie cakes, and she likes Sonic corn dogs. And I'm saying all this to her because about her because I don't want to get on her bad side. And I told her maybe a week or so ago that she wants to be Sherman Guyton's assistant mayor. She wants to be that, and more than anything, I guess. And I texted her and told her that I was going to give. She wants to know why Sherman don't never call her to be assistant mayor. And I don't know why he didn't call her, but then I got to thinking about it. She probably don't have his number. And I know that she runs every morning in front of Councilman Wilson's house because she has to dodge that squirrel, and she's probably hollering at him if she sees him out to take that hat off. But Gina, I promise, whenever I told you I was going to give Councilman Wilson that phone number, I gave it to him. I told him to put it in his hat. He probably never takes his hat off. So Councilman Wilson, where's the phone number?
It's in there.
It's in it. Could you please give that phone number to the mayor today for
Gina? And Councilman Wilson has already had his time. No comment, Councilman Wilson.
She did put on there the other day that we need to kind of liven up our council meetings, so I thought I'd try to do that today, and I wish her good luck in being the assistant to the mayor.
That's my kind of woman. I ain't kidding.
She's got all the qualifications to be the assistant.
tell her that I wouldn't let Councilman Wilson rebuttal.
I will.
Councilman Bag.
Thank you, Madam President. Every week I announce that we're having a food giveaway at First Baptist Church Gadsden on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're not able to do that. The program was through the month of August, so we will not have food tomorrow at First Baptist Church. Very sorry to report that. We are working with the Community Food Bank of Central Alabama to try to extend that program, which is a federal program, and we're working to try to do that. So I'll have news next week, and hopefully we will be able to resume that at least for a little while longer. I've been thanking Larry Avery for 2 or 3 weeks now, Larry, and now I get to do it in person. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the impact you're making on our community, for the ones you've already signed up on the census that we're probably not going to sign up, and for the future work that you do. And that's the kind of citizen involvement that our city needs, and you're doing a great job, and we really appreciate it. That's going to be a 10-year investment that you're making in your volunteers. So thank all of you that are working in that area. I am a member on social media of a couple of neighborhood groups, and so it's a way to keep up with my council district. And I noticed there were some comments about Forest Cemetery and the upkeep of Forest Cemetery. So I checked into that, and I drove over there and looked, and there is some grass cutting and trimming that needs to be done. It's fairly obvious. The reason why that's in the position, or the condition rather, that it's in is because of 2 things, primarily COVID, and then just a Goodyear closing, and then the responsibility that the mayor's office has had on keeping our finances in check. So it's no secret, our city's laid off over 150 part-time employees. A lot of those would work in that area that would do grass cutting, and that's no secret. So there has been, there's an effort to try to get more people over there to help the crew that's already there to catch up with that work. So just know that has not fallen off the calendar. It's not being neglected. It's a budgetary issue, probably more than anything. And I think the city knows that to be respectful of a cemetery and to keep it when it's our responsibility to keep it up, we're doing all we can do. And it will be handled. It's not going to be, nothing is business as usual right now in the whole world, let alone in Gadsden, Alabama. So please bear with us as we work through that. In addition, these city employees that do that, they're just like everybody else. They have families, and some of those family members have been sick with COVID. They've had to take time off of work to take care of family members. And then some of them have children. There's child care places have closed. Some schools aren't meeting in person. So there's family issues that some of our employees have had to deal with. And I respect the way that we've handled that we're helping them work with their families. And so that's also contributed to the lack of the ability to take care of that. So just please bear with us as we go through that. And want to thank Kay Moore for your work. Kay, I know that's part of the social media that I read, and you're just bombarded with all kind of, I never knew in a city of 35,000 people we had so many experts, but we are probably the expert capital of the South, at least, maybe the whole country. There's some smart people that live in Etowah County, and I'm proud I'm not one of them. I'm just trying to stay out of the way. So, but good luck to you, and I applaud how you and the mayor's office have worked on this. It's very strategic. It's not happenstance. There's a plan in place, and thank you for what you do, and we'll be praying everything goes well so we can have another one in October, and we'll just take it a month at a time. And also Deborah Gaither's not here, but thank her and her staff for all they do. What a job they've done the last 6 months. And Hugh, I don't want to leave you out. I don't see you that often, it seems like, but I've been doing some reading on fishing and the financial impact and things like that to this area. Man, what a great job you're doing for Etowah County and for Gadsden. There is a lot of activity that I think is one of those things, we see it all the time. We just expect it. Nobody realizes all the work that goes into it to make it happen. So thank you for your staff and your volunteers for what you do to utilize the Coosa River and the surrounding area for the fishing tournaments and all the other things. So thank you very much. That's all, Madam President. Thank you.
Councilman Worthy.
Yes, Madam President. I'm just going to talk a little more about September the 5th. Add a little something to what Mr. Avery was saying. We also have a group that will be there on the ground so you can drive up and get your census taken care of, and also register to vote. And also we'll have applications for the absentee ballot for you to fill out, and we will help you with that. So it's a lot of different groups coming together to help with this project, and we just want to make sure everybody is fill the census out, register to vote, and then not only register to vote, but go vote. Like our president says, vote changes things, and we have to go vote. So that's all I have.
Councilman Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll echo the sentiment that's been offered up by a number of council members regarding our volunteers. I think Kay Moore kind of stands as a shining example of somebody that's really committed herself to just being a servant in her community. And she goes beyond what you can expect of somebody who could very easily go home and be quiet and be comfortable. But she makes the attempt to serve and support her community, and we always appreciate that. Don't miss the message that she sent out there, that she welcomes everybody, but if you're one of those who buck against wearing a mask, you're not bucking against K or the city, you're bucking against a statewide mandate that's in place through October 2nd, by the way. So just please be mindful of that and just be safe. You know, that's really all we ask of anybody, is be safe and be smart as you're going out and engaging in social events. And again, I think Kent hit it. You were spot on with Larry Avery. I mean, there's, yet again, a young man who could be doing so many other things. He has a young family, could be doing so many other things, but he's taking time out of his schedule to be impactful in this season. So we definitely appreciate that. And something he mentioned at the podium earlier, and I don't want us to miss, is that there will be Life South, I believe it is, that typically brings out their blood drive bus, will be at that event as well. So those who, with the number of hospitalizations that we've seen across the state, there obviously has to be a need for blood in our healthcare system. So please come out and support that where you can as well. Do want to make a couple comments regarding Gadsden State Community College. We're going to miss Dr. Lavender. As many of you have already heard, she's retiring, and I'm a little bothered because she didn't ask for my permission. But she's going to be retiring on us, and we're going to miss her. She's done a great job, and she's been a great partner with the city. This window of time under her leadership has probably been one of my fondest in terms of our relationship with Gadsden State. So we appreciate that, and anybody that can work with the mayor is all right with me. So she's managed to do that really well. But we're fortunate because I know as it's been reported, Greg Bennett is going to be the interim. Greg is a long-standing a part of that Gadsden State culture. He obviously is the center director for the workforce development ATN program within Gadsden State. And so Greg's been around a while. He's familiar with all the hard work that we've done in collaboration with Gadsden State. So we're excited to be able to work with him going forward as well. So we're going to miss Dr. Lavender, but we look forward to working with Greg. Some thoughts about the census. Etowah County's average is right at about 65.1% now. So that's a little less than where we were in 2010. We definitely, as a county, want to beat that 66% mark that we hit in 2010. And I will tell you that Gadsden, Walnut Grove, Altoona, and Atala are dragging the average down. So those 4 cities have a great opportunity to do better and help to push us towards that target. And again, this is very important. It's not something that benefits any individual. This benefits us all. So we want to encourage everyone to participate. Man, this is, it's funny that Councilman Reed and Councilman Cannon mentioned a couple people that have passed in their communities. I do want to send out condolences and prayers to the families of Gwen Thomas and M. Lois Kyler, who just died recently. I know those families are dealing with a tremendous loss, and do want to offer up prayers to them. In my lifetime, I've never seen so much death, and it's got to be difficult for these families, and so we want to continue to pray for those families. On a much brighter note, do want to congratulate our Gadsden City High School Titans team for another victory. They started the season off 2-0. So for those of you that can, go out and support them. Go out and support them this weekend and be safe in the process. Do want to wish my niece, Mallory, a happy birthday. Her birthday is today. And also want to recognize my parents for celebrating 50 years married. They celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. I was joking with them this weekend. I told them that I would have lost that bet at 25 years, I think. But they're just, but they've been a wonderful couple for 50 years. Madam President, I think that's all I have.
50 years and not one mistake.
Yeah, and I'm it.
Praise the Lord.
Due to the Labor Day holiday, and we do have a holiday that's coming up next Monday, the garbage route will, okay, I'll just go on and finish mine, and I'll
No problem, no problem.
I got distracted by the bell. Due to the Labor Day holiday next Monday, the garbage route will be collected on Tuesday, and Tuesday's route will be collected on Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday's route will not change. And so we'll have comments from the mayor.
I'd just like to say the little lady been trying to get in touch with me on Facebook. I don't know how to do Facebook. I never have looked at it. I know everything on there is probably true. But if you text me, I do know how to text back. It may take me about 5 minutes to do a 3-word text, but I do text back. Or I can call you. And as far as Gadsden State, I worked a lot together with Dr. Lavender and Teresa Ray, who also is retired. They were working machines, I can tell you. And there's so many good things at Gadsden State, Career Tech. They got buildings, they got all these programs. And I know I talk about it a lot, but we need to get the kids to get over there and get in school and learn some trades and learn some skills. And parents, like I said, if they don't know how to do anything, when you get old, how do you think they're going to take care of you if they don't know how to work? So let's hope we get somebody good. I think we may. I haven't heard Derek had a name, which I know him very well. He's a good one too. But we'll really miss them a lot because they have been a big part of our community since I've been in office. Thank you.
Just to increase what everybody else has said, it's so important to vote. I still say we do a lot of talking. I don't hear them doing too much, and I don't do Facebook either. I just hear when they talk about me, somebody called me, they screenshot me, or they send me what they say about me. But I don't do Facebook. If Facebook would spend a lot of time telling people to vote, telling people to register for census, that would be a good thing that they could be doing, instead of talking about Councilman Wilson and a squirrel outside his house.
They actually do.
But they do. But I'm
For
just.
the record, I trained those squirrels.
I'm just encouraging everybody to take action. You know, there's so many things that we can do. They keep begging for volunteers. They keep, people want to have a platform of talking, but they keep asking for volunteers to work. So I'm encouraging, and especially the young people, young people, you want to get involved, that's a good way to start. So I just encourage everybody to go out and vote. I bought me a pen that says vote. And I want to wear it all the time so people will know that it's important to vote. If nothing else, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.